Till we meet again. Written by Oraculus. Read by Arashi. Sylvain curses whoever invented those damn timekeeping candles. He only needs to light them twice a year, but they remain a constant pain in his arse every time he does. Beside him, Felix stirs, gently tapping Sylvain's head in annoyance. Too bright. Sylvain is inclined to agree. He sits up and glares at the offending candles sitting innocently on the dresser on the other side of the room. The merchant that sold the candles to them had said this: "The candle will stay lit for 8 hours, but for the last 30 minutes it will light off tiny fireworks caused by minuscule magic circles that activate when the flame gets low enough. It's absolutely perfect for getting you out of bed for an early morning." Felix had bought 50 of them and had refused to wait to see said fireworks. His inability to wait for the demonstration a perfect example of his impatience. "This amount will last us for 25 years. Why wouldn't we buy 'em?" Like the idiot that he is, Sylvain had agreed. But now they both pay the price. With a great yawn, Sylvain heaves himself out of bed and extinguishes the candle, cloaking the room in darkness once again. The sun hadn't yet risen, but Sylvain expects that they may only have a short time until it does. He lights another candle. This one doesn't have fireworks in it, thank the goddess, and returns to Felix's side, prodding him until he gives Sylvain his signature glare. "Come on, time to get up." Felix groans dramatically, fooling absolutely no one, but does manage to push himself out of bed. They move mechanically, dressing in their usual daily outfits and preparing for the short walk to the shore by candlelight. Sylvain reaches up 2 of the floorboards to reveal a weathered box and empties the contents into a large travel bag, where Felix attempts to prepare the 2 of them a light breakfast. They eat in silence. No words need to be shared between the 2 of them. Anything that needed to be said had been said in the previous days. They'd done this. When they finally leave their small cottage and weave through the garden onto the main road, Sylvain predicts that they may only have 15 minutes before the sun peaks high enough over the horizon to light their path. They were lucky enough to own and build on land so close to a secluded beach, especially with their reputation as troublemakers and thieves. The location itself affords an ideal area for something to slip away into the ocean easily under the cover of night, even if technically the beach itself belongs to the reigning noblemen, and the couple could be jailed for trespassing if spotted. They're stretching their luck enough as it is. By the time they reach the beach, the sun is about to breach the horizon, which pushes the couple to move faster. The sand slows down their steps considerably, but they eventually make it to the edge of the water, and Felix all but rips off his clothing, rushing into the water, with Sylvain catching the discarded clothing behind him. Felix stops when the water reaches his waist and turns to Sylvain, huffing a laugh when he sees him struggling with the travel bag. Felix takes it off him, emptying the contents and replacing the smooth pelt with the clothing hastily shoved into Sylvain's arms. When all the items are accounted for, Felix pauses and catches Sylvain's eyes before he leans in for a deep kiss. "I hate leaving so quickly." Sylvain hums in response, kissing back. "I hate it too, but you deserve some time with your family." Sylvain thinks back to the one time he met Rodrigue, the older Selkie huffing with frustration when Felix said he wanted to stay on shore with Sylvain. Sylvain had never felt so happy in his life, just knowing that Felix had chosen him over his own family. Glenn had been the reason Felix was permitted to stay in the end, his own experiences on the shore and the ocean opening Rodrigue's eyes to Felix's point of view. It had been decided that during the Selkies clan's migration through the sea, Felix would be allowed to visit the clan for 1 week every year, but these terms were offered so long as Sylvain and Felix could keep up their end of the bargain and keep the clan's presence in the area a secret. They've been doing this yearly ever since. Felix huffs unkindly. "The only one I want to see is Glenn. The others can go screw themselves." Sylvain laughs heartily in response, forgetting the need to be quiet during their escapade. Felix pulls out a previously unseen cap and forces it onto Sylvain's head, covering his red locks that shine like a beacon against the waves when the sun hits it, just in time for the sun to peek out over the horizon. "I'll see you in 1 week, Felix promises, pulling Sylvain in for one last kiss. 1 week, Sylvain agrees. "Don't be late." "I never am." Felix pulls away and slips into his pelt, changing before Sylvain's eyes into a seal-like creature. The change eerily reminiscent of their first meeting, when Felix had transformed from Selkie to boy in front of Sylvain. He slinks into the ocean, but surfaces to clumsily tap Sylvain's nose with his flipper, and darts away into the deep sea. Sylvain follows his cue and retreats from the beach, ignoring the squelching of his shoes and the uncomfortable nature of wet pants clinging to his skin. He quickly disguises himself amongst the shrubbery, separating the nobleman's territory from public land, and watches the sun rise over the horizon, the new day taking his love away with its arrival. He takes the short trek back to the cottage alone, but as soon as he arrives, he replaces the used timekeeping candle with a new one, ready in a week's time to do it all again.